Well, we'll finish on a very bizarre note today. Earl Thomas is back in the media. You guys are going to hate me for sharing this, but it's too hilarious. It's honestly too hysterical not to share this. Earl Thomas has not gotten another shot in the league since ending on horrible terms in Baltimore. We all remember what shook out before the Ravens ultimately parted ways with Earl. He punched Chuck Clark in a training camp practice. There were reports out that he wasn't an engaged player, a representative of the organization, late to meetings, lazy, not exactly a team-friendly guy, certainly not a media-friendly guy. That was one of the years that I was part of the Ravens radio team, and I spent a lot of time in the locker room. He was not a fun guy to be around. I don't want to speak for his teammates. I know what Chuck Clark would say, though, that's for sure. But Earl Thomas caught up with Josina Anderson, and congrats to friend of the show, Josina, who just launched a brand new show. Sarah and I love Josina. We definitely have to have her on at some point down the line. It was so generous of her to spend some time with us during the Lamar contract negotiation process a couple of years ago. But in this clip alone, there were three things, or at least a couple things, that just had me like jaw dropped in terms of, with a straight face, what he told Josina Anderson that he believes about where he currently is, having been out of the league for multiple years, and where he thinks he stacks up against some of the league's greats at his position, legacy-wise. Listen to this.
Joining us for the first time on this set in person is Super Bowl champion, 7-time Pro Bowler, and 3-time All-Pro safety Earl Thomas is in the building. So you just told me that you were thinking about what you wanted to say.
Right.
For people to have that conveyed as you were reminding everybody it took you an hour and a half, 2 hours to get here. Right. So what is it that you want to say?
I know I still can play. I have numbered all my goals down to coaching now. If I can't play, because my opportunities were slim to none after I had that incident in Baltimore. And my agent.
Focus on the playing part. What is it that you want to say about the playing part?
Oh, I know I still can play.
Mm-hmm.
I know I still can play. It has to be a good atmosphere where coach is gonna let me go out there and play, communicate. I know the plays. I know the formations. Just a good atmosphere where they understand me.
So obviously, you transitioned from there to the Baltimore Ravens. I remember you had an opportunity, if I recall correctly, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, it's okay.
Okay.
That, I think the Chiefs wanted you.
Yes.
See,
yes.
I remember things. Okay. And then the Baltimore Ravens offered you more money. You said, I'm going to take that. I remember that conversation.
That is true. And now I've helped the Chiefs win 2 Super Bowls. So that's just how
So did you make a mistake?
You
can't make. Because the Baltimore Ravens have great culture.
Exactly. So when I punched somebody in practice, that was a mistake. And then things kind of got harder to get back in the league, even though I'm still the best safety in the league. So
you mean now or back then?
No, now. Yes,
okay,
I'm still the best safety in the league.
What? Would happen to you mentally or emotionally if you were not a first ballot Hall of Famer?
What would happen? I would just know that I'm better than Ed Reed. I'm better than Troy Polamalu. That would just be that.
Excuse me?
Yes.
So how do you think Ravens fans and Steelers fans are going to react to that comment?
They got to know my game. I know a lot of Seattle fans would agree.
Mm-hmm.
I know for sure that 2013 team, that we don't win a Super Bowl without me. Mm-hmm. We don't go back without me either. Mm-hmm. So that's just that.
How would you feel if it didn't happen beyond just declaring that you're better than them? Is that something that you would protest or have a problem with it, lose sleep over?
I wouldn't protest it. I just know that I'm a first ballot Hall of Famer. I came in with Eric Berry. Eric Berry is a good safety. Mm-hmm. Who else they got? Who else they got this decade that's like that? Nobody. I went way out there past these guys. Mm-hmm. Sherm got his attitude for me. Cam got his attitude for me. Like every time they get mad at me for saying these things. That's why I don't like to go into detail about these things. But I just know for sure, like I saw like, you know, the older career of Ed Reed, the older career of Troy. So based on what I saw from that, I was like, I'm better than these guys.
We know how the departure ended in Baltimore. Is there anything that you want to say to the Baltimore fans or John Harbaugh, who just about how things ended, you know, with the Ravens?
And I definitely want to see a 29. So Ed Reed and, you know, Ray Lewis have that sold up. So I definitely want to see my jersey in the stands. So I see it
in the
Seattle.
Stands or around the ring?
Or in the stands, in the arena.
So you want to see?
I want to see a 29 jersey. I want to see a 29 jersey
in Baltimore.
In Baltimore,
despite how it ended.
Just how it. Yes. Because they know I'm good. It was. That's. I mean, you see fights all the time in training camp. So
you said what?
You see fights all the time in training camp. They understand. No,
see, this how I lay back.
I didn't want to do this, but I would do it.
You put your leg.
Listen, Josina. Congratulations on the launch of the show. It's called The Exhibit. Go check it out. We love Josina. There's a lot to unpack with what we just listened to, okay? Let's make sure we have everything in play here. Earl Thomas thinks that he can still play, and he still thinks that he's the best safety in the game. He hasn't played since 2019, okay? He says he's a first-ballot Hall of Famer, and he's better than Ed Reed. He's better than Troy Polamalu. He admits he made a mistake for punching Chuck Clark, but you know what? John Harbaugh, actually, I think I should be a Ring of Honor guy. Put me in the Ring of Honor. Retire my number 29 jersey. Get the hell out of here. What is that? I almost feel like let's not spend too much time on this because that was some of the most far out there chatter that I've heard from a former player in quite some time. Earl has had a disastrous several years. He's had legal battles. He has not been wanted back in the NFL. His time in Baltimore ended horribly. It may go down as one of the worst acquisitions in Ravens franchise history. I know he had a stellar first year in Baltimore, and he had great moments. Certainly the stiff arm with Derrick Henry was not among them. I know he is a Hall of Famer. I know he is a Super Bowl champion, and certainly was a key piece, and maybe the piece, to that Seattle defense. But that's some of the more outlandish content that you will ever hear from Earl Thomas, who hasn't exactly put himself in good graces with the Ravens fan base. Wow. First ballot Hall of Famer. Sure. At least at the very least, a Hall of Famer. Best safety in today's game. Insane. Better than Ed Reed. Insane. Better than Troy Polamalu. Insane. Jersey retiring? Out of this world. Earl Thomas, ladies and gentlemen. And that is courtesy of Josina Anderson. And since I've been chatting here about Earl, John Harbaugh is at the podium, and he says that he is optimistic, and it's a great place to finish off here. He says he is optimistic about Kyle Hamilton's availability. Reporters have shared that Kyle's looked good since this ankle injury. He's practiced the last couple days. So all-pro safety Kyle Hamilton perhaps trending towards being able to go and being available on Sunday in Pittsburgh would be a huge boost for the Ravens defense, of course. No update provided by John Harbaugh on Arthur Maulet. He has missed practice the last couple days and is in a walking boot, or at least was in a walking boot on Thursday. That's a tough break for Arthur, who, of course, I'm sure wants to play his former team in the Pittsburgh Steelers.